Ever since Ganondorf first appeared, Hyrule has been under the never-ending threat towards him. Cursed by demise to forever plague Hyrule, Ganondorf has appeared again and again thanks to the power of the Triforce, it being the Triforce of Power, only to be sealed away by the goddess's chosen hero, who wields the Triforce of Courage, and the goddess's mortal incarnation, who wields the Triforce of Wisdom. But in the events that lead to Breath of the Wild, the Triforce seems almost absent, except for the Triforce of Power. The malice that possesses the divine beasts and Guardian, corrupting all of Hyrule, show how powerful Ganon's power is, which can explain why Hyrule stood no chance against Calamity Ganon until the very end, where Zelda finally awakens her powers of the Triforce, it being the Triforce of Wisdom. But sadly, when that happens, it's too late for Hyrule. With her kingdom destroyed, family and friends killed, and her last hope, Link, on the brink of death. All she can do is use her powers to stall until Hyrule's destined hero may aid her as prophesied. But was Hyrule's fate really Zelda's fault? Can we really blame her for not awakening her powers sooner? I mean, nothing played out to plan. They hoped to achieve the same path to victory as their kingdom did 10,000 years ago, but this time Calamity Ganon was prepared. He knew to seize the Sheikah tech and use them against Hyrule, quickly resulting in the kingdom's downfall, being killed by what was meant to protect them. So instead of Zelda's fall, is this then the fault of the Sheikah? Well, we do know that the Sheikah did help seal Calamity Ganon 10,000 years ago. Their divine tech played a huge part in their victory. But after Calamity Ganon was sealed 10,000 years ago, Hyrule's king during that time decided to then get rid of the Sheikah tech. He felt that they played a far bigger role than needed, and worried that with the Sheikah tech being so powerful, that they may end up causing a threat to Hyrule. So, he abolished their tech and banished the Sheikah altogether from Hyrule. And this is what resulted in the Sheikah dividing, with one side staying loyal to the royal family of Hyrule, where they resided in Kakariko, while the other side went against Hyrule and became the Yiga. Now we jump 10,000 years later, where Hyrule rediscovers the Sheikah's lost tech and decides to use it for the return of Calamity Ganon, believing that the ancient tech will once again help Hyrule in the second battle against Calamity Ganon, but it ends up being why they lost. So was Hyrule's ancient king right all along with abolishing the Sheikah tech? Was their tech really something that would end up causing more harm than good in the end? It being that Hyrule pretty much failed the second time around? Well, with that in mind, what if we went even deeper than that? Yes, put on your theory hats, because I want to go into why I believe that the Sheikah may have played an even bigger reason in why Hyrule failed. Have you ever asked why Calamity Ganon is Calamity Ganon and not just Ganon? Ganondorf started off as a Gerudo, a tribe that consists of only females, but according to legend, every 100 years a male is born. This male is then destined by Gerudo law to become their king. But since the rise of Ganondorf back in Ocarina of Time, after he became the Demon King Ganon, there has been no signs of a Gerudo male being born each 100 years. So how did the Gerudo put an end to the cycle? Are they trying to prevent another male from being born to avoid the chance of it being reincarnated into Ganondorf? Because, similar to the other Triforce wielders, Link and Zelda, they also have their powers passed down to their descendants, being reincarnated into Anu. But Ganondorf, on the other hand, was never given a chance to be reincarnated. His body has somehow remained in Hyrule from when he was first born all the way up until Breath of the Wild. As the reason for why Calamity Ganon even exists is because Ganondorf's body is sealed under Hyrule Castle. So clearly by not completely disposing of Ganondorf's body, they're not giving him a chance to be reincarnated into Anu. And this could explain why we don't see any male Gerudo born every 100 years. And that could be because they are probably tasked to kill off the male that is born every 100 years, preventing the chance for Ganondorf's spirit to then find a new body to host his spirit. which is what ends up creating this uncontrollable nightmare known as Calamity Ganon. Because no matter what, the return of Ganon is inevitable. Since Demise cursed Hyrule in Skyward Sword, it is prophesied for Ganondorf to make a return. But since the Sheikah tried to go above and beyond and prevent that from happening, it caused an imbalance in Hyrule's destiny, creating destruction like never before. And think of how much the Sheikah tech actually helped Calamity Ganon this time around. From controlling the Guardians and Divine Beasts, to even Ganondorf himself utilizing the Sheikah tech in his incomplete form, along with each of his phantoms that are found in each Divine Beast. It's almost as if since Ganon's spirit couldn't find a body to host him, it went for the next best thing, which is trying to reincarnate himself into a machine through the Sheikah tech. As without a body to host his spirit for his return, he is then left to use the machinery of the Sheikah tech, creating something unlike we've ever seen, as his spirit must possess something. So, I ask this again, what if Hyrule's ancient king was right? That the Sheikah may have been biting off more than they can chew, and because of it, it may have resulted in the downfall of Hyrule instead of helping Hyrule. Because when looking at Hyrule's recent history, the Sheikah have really tried doing all the heavy work with their tech. But this was never destined for Hyrule. All Hyrule needs is the goddess's chosen hero and her mortal incarnation. That has always been the formula for victory throughout Hyrule's history, up until this new age of the Sheikah and their tech. But I'm not done there. This theory even goes deeper. Deep under Hyrule Castle, where Ganondorf's body can be found. And what if the seal used on Ganondorf's body is through the power of the Triforce of Courage? Now hear me out. Similar to Zelda, Link's Triforce is absent in Breath of the Wild, and it doesn't appear even after he awakens 100 years later. It's only Zelda who's able to use her powers against Calamity Ganon. So what if it was the Sheikah who managed to use the Triforce of Courage to seal Ganondorf's body away? Because how else would they manage to seal Ganondorf's body without the power of the Triforce? And since the Triforce of Courage is completely missing, it must be through the Triforce of Courage's power. But I know you're questioning, how could have they gotten that power when it's passed down to Link? Well, could the hand we see sealing Ganondorf's body be of a previous hero who had the power from their hand somehow extracted to remain as a seal to Ganondorf's body? I know this sounds bizarre, but wouldn't it make sense in why we never hear that the hero chosen by the goddess Hylia possesses the power of courage throughout Breath of the Wild's history? For some reason, there's almost no mention of the Triforce in Hyrule's history, when it always played a huge part. Though while I'm not entirely sure that it is the Sheikah that is behind sealing Ganondorf's body, as I'm sure a few of you may be thinking that it may be the Zonai instead. The ancient tribe that is behind all the ruins found in the Faron region, which seems to resemble the same structures found under Hyrule Castle in Breath of the Wild's 2 trailer. Which could also make sense, as the Zonai are behind the tribe that uses the Triforce of Courage, as they are from the Faron region, which is the land of the Goddess of Courage. So it would make sense that they do have some connection to the Triforce of Courage. Regardless of which ancient tribe sealed Ganondorf's body, I have a feeling that it strongly connects to the Triforce of Courage and why Link lacks it in Breath of the Wild. And this would explain why Link's power of courage is never passed down to him, as it remained as a seal to Ganondorf's body, all the way up until the events of Breath of the Wild 2. As in the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer, we can see Link reconnect with the power of courage, with the power of the hand sealing Ganondorf's body merging into the hand of his that would have carried the Triforce of Courage, thus regaining his power that is chosen by the goddess. But this then causes Ganondorf's body to be unsealed, as the hand is no longer sealing it, allowing Ganondorf's spirit to enter his body once again, which we see at the end of the trailer. This could all explain why Hyrule's destiny ended up far different than what is usually prophesized, as the Sheikah tried meddling with a lot of things. While their goal was to make things more convenient for the Kingdom of Hyrule, it changed Hyrule's fate, as it was never destined to be. Hence why the Ancient King decided to abolish them back then. He knew with how much they tried to change the fate of Hyrule, it would eventually backfire. And he was right. This could also explain why the Sheikah have so many backup plans. This is something we've never seen in Hyrule's history. Why is the Sheikah so prepared for the hero to lose? From the Shrine of Resurrection that is literally created for when the hero fails and needs to be revived, to also that time-traveling guardian. I mean, they even made sure to have a backup plan for when Hyrule already fails, sending a guardian back in time. Again, when compared to Hyrule's history against Ganon, they never needed this many backup plans from the Sheikah. So it's almost as if the Sheikah are trying to compensate for something they know they lack. This would also explain why Hyrule's current king is so harsh on Princess Zelda. Because Zelda is too focused on the Sheikah tech, when she should be focusing on awakening her powers, the true way to seal Ganon. So in reality, the Sheikah and their tech was all bait for Hyrule, making him think they had a chance, but because of it, they stood no chance. So it seems that both times in Hyrule's history, the king knew that trusting the Sheikah tech could cost them the fate of their kingdom. But that's all just a theory. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And please be sure to leave a like on this video, especially if you enjoyed. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, as we have a lot more content like this, along with covering the Breath of the Wild trilogy and anything Zelda related. But as always, I've been Zelda Master, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!